in Detroit?
I do think it's panic time. I'm not writing them off, but the reason I say panic is because they've been so good this season that they are SBOB, and I mean win the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying they're going to break up the team, but it's Super Bowl or nothing for them. And I think the panic time is because of the injuries. It's not because, they've been figured out, they were fraudulent or whatever. If they don't win the Super Bowl, it's going to be a tough regular season to get through next year mentally because you played so well and then you didn't get that trophy. And now kind of the regular season is just about, all right, let's get through it and get to the playoffs, and then that's when our season starts. So I think it is panic time solely because of the injuries. Defensively, for them to get to where they have been with all the injuries has been incredible. And now I do think it's starting to take its toll. I think you saw that yesterday. And then Montgomery, look, Jahmyr Gibbs is great. He's the Sonic and Knuckles, but Knuckles is gone.
Yeah. It's brutal.
But, yeah, it's mainly defensively. I think the injury is going to be tough.
I should have had Hubs pull it. Maybe we can pull it for when we talk about this again later. All I can think about is Dan Campbell's press conference after the NFC Championship game when he says, I told the guys, we might never be back here.
Oh.
And it was very honest, and I respected it. It was kind of part of the Dan Campbell legend. But, this is one of the reasons why is because you can peak too early, which I think they did, and you also maybe they didn't peak too early. Maybe they were just that team that beat the Jags 52-6, and then injuries finally. You know what I mean? Bad injury luck.
So are you saying you think it's mainly the injuries?
No, I think at this point they are too far gone defensively with the injuries.
Yeah.
And even if I wanted to sell, don't panic, you can't win the coaches. This is the second straight week the coach has signaled to the whole world and his own team, I don't think the defense can get one stop. Yeah. And so we saw it with the fourth down decision that we talked about that I thought was reckless with very little upside. He then upped the ante on that with the onside kick with 12 minutes left, down 10 points. So Dan Campbell can say all he wants, no excuses, we got to do it. And again, I have such massive respect for the guy as a man and as a leader. But he is telling us, you do not think you have a championship caliber defense with those decisions. You're just flatly saying it.
No. I completely disagree with that because that is who Dan Campbell is. Is it aggressive? Absolutely. Is it too aggressive? Then I agree with that. But that's not him signaling to everyone that they just can't get a stop. Is he concerned about the defense? Absolutely. Is he trying to find unique and aggressive and assertive ways to overcome the defensive injuries? Absolutely. But that's who he is, and that's who he's always been. If they weren't known to be so aggressive, and to go on and on fourth down and all of the, they lead the league in, fake punts and all of that, then I would agree. Then I would say, yo, man, he is concerned about this defense. They're doing onside kicks and all that and whatnot. But this is who the Lions are. That is their DNA. We know that. Anyone watching this video knows that. So I wouldn't say that the coach is panicking. He knows that it's something that they need to try to overcome. And this is the way in which he does so. Again, whether it's right or wrong, it's consistent with who the Lions are as a franchise. So no, I don't think it's time to panic. I think you should be concerned. And if you're a Lions fan, angry and frustrated this is happening with all the injuries, and I feel your pain truly, because every team is just one injury. I mean, look at Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. The dude's just lucky that he didn't snap both his ankles off. I mean, there's lucky that we didn't just pick up both his feet and are just oh my God, well, what do we do with these? I mean, the way how he kind of got bent backwards like that. So every team is always just one bad play away. And it's obviously just been piling on for the Lions. And it's frustrating to see. It's a bummer. That is actually, and I talked about this, and I got ripped for it. Going into this season, that is the one drawback with playing with a level of intensity that the Lions play with any team. When you go that hard, 24/7 practices and on game day, your risk of injury is absolutely elevated. It's just basic math, basic science. It is. It's human physiology 101. And I'm not saying that this was caused by that. Some of it maybe was. Some of it was just bad luck, of course. Right? Like it just is. It just those things can happen. So I'm not like blaming the Lions franchise or organization by any stretch of the imagination. It can't be any more clear than that. But it absolutely positively can be a contributing factor. And it's an unfortunate thing, because it's also what makes them so special is how hard they go. And again, you don't need to even trust me. This comes out of Amon-Ra St. Brown's own mouth. His own mouth. Where he was picked up on a mic saying, in the middle of the game, where he just went down on the field and didn't want to take a hit. And they said, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not trying to get hurt. I'm sick of being hurt." So again, if you want to say that I'm wrong, then you're saying that literally Amon-Ra St. Brown is wrong then. And if you want to say that he's wrong, by all means, be my guest. Go tell him that he's wrong. And it's devastating. It's frustrating. But I'm certainly not going to panic or count the Lions out, because they still hung 42 points. And yeah, listen, I think that score is definitely misleading. Jared Goff knows it. That's why he said it in the press conference as well, because he even called it a lopsided game. And obviously, if you just look at the score, you wouldn't say it's lopsided, but it was. And again, if you disagree with that, then you disagree with Jared Goff. So again, by all means, disagree with Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I just don't think it's panic mode, because if any team's going to be able to overcome these issues, it will absolutely be the Detroit Lions, because of that very intensity. Because of that very intensity. And the aggressiveness. Because you will be able to pick up guys off the street and be like, "You know what? You may not know everything, but what I do need you to do is I need you to hit hard and fast. Can you do that? If you can do that, we can make this work." Which is why they've been getting after the quarterback since, Aiden's injury and whatnot. It's like, we just need you to go hard and fast. Let's go. And listen, you're going to give up points when you're playing a team like the Bills. It's going to happen. When you're playing great offenses, it's going to happen, especially when you're not 100% healthy. But I also think with the aggressiveness with Dan Campbell, because let's say that offense really can't stop anyone. And maybe the way how they play is like they really do just go for it on every single fourth down now. If there's any team that can get away with it, it is the Detroit Lions. Now, I don't know how some of the injuries on the offense are going to age. It's difficult to see. But again, if anyone can find a way, it's Ben Johnson. If there's anyone to whip out another random running back and make it work and have you be like, "Oh my God," that's going to be Ben Johnson. So, Jared Goff, again, these stats are very misleading, but 38 for 59, 494 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a 118 rating. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 14 catches, 193 yards, 1 touchdown. That alone is just kind of bonkers, quite frankly. I just don't think you need to panic. You're definitely not as in good of a situation as you were a couple weeks ago. That's obvious. You have to accept that. You have to acknowledge that. But this is where culture, this is where better run teams can kind of find a way. But I'm just not going to make the statement that they've gone too far. Again, their chances of success has absolutely gotten harder. The mountain has absolutely gotten steeper to climb. Nobody could deny that. But to just absolutely sell the stock and panic and say, "Get out, get out, get out," I just think that that's too extreme, personally. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Detroit Lions? Do you think it's time to panic right now? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.